Hey there, lady. My name is Molly Conley, and I'm devoted to helping women reinvent their love lives, whether that's after divorce, dating on and off the apps, or in their committed relationship. Why? Because I've been there. I'm a former college athlete who filed for divorce 3 years into marriage, swam in the online dating pool into my late 30s, and now I am married to the man of my spreadsheet dreams who I met 4 months before the world shut down. As a dating and relationship coach, I help my clients shift the focus from being obsessed with finding Mr. Right to shifting to herself as Miss Right Now. We build a foundation filled with clarity, connection, and confidence, knowing she is worth waiting for. Each week on the podcast, I'll bring you love life insights and savvy guests, where you will receive the courage to release programmed limiting beliefs. Discover patterns and behaviors restricting you from finding and attracting quality men, and ways to choose yourself first so you can build a foundation for a healthy relationship with yourself and a partner. Hey there, lady. You're listening to the Reinventing the Arena podcast. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I'm Molly, and today I'm going to be talking about your dating patterns. So, I'm going to be highlighting, first of all, what dating patterns are, what's keeping you stuck in your dating patterns, and what maybe different types of dating patterns you may have. So, first up, what are those dating patterns I mentioned? Dating, or even sometimes called relationship patterns, are behaviors that you repeat over and over again with new people or even just a new situation. Some examples of dating patterns would be, attracting the same type of guy. It's a different face, but a same type. Um, Having the same relationship issues in your current relationship as a previous one, or always trying to help the people that you are with, that you're dating, to see the better side of life, and by maybe trying to help fix them. And maybe right now you can see, some of these dating patterns are keeping you from actually having a relationship, or maybe you're in a relationship and you see moments that are similar to what you're going through right now. When we constantly relive the same sort of relationship or dating experience, we have to look at the common denominator in order to move forward. So, what is keeping you in these patterns in the first place? And I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you, so be prepared. It's denial. Yes, you're in denial that you're contributing to the dating pattern, the hypothetical toxic relationship, and what's going on in your love life. The truth hurts sometimes. I've been there. And the person you need to be the most honest with is yourself. When you can sit back and accept what you're contributing to your dating patterns and even the patterns in your relationships, you can start figuring out a path forward. And since you're listening to this podcast, I have to think that you truly want to change your life. It's time to get real with yourself. When we have been in denial, and we recognize now that we've been in denial, we start to blame ourselves for what we, quote unquote, should have done. And I'm not going down the tracks of shitty shoulds today, but you need to stop shoulding yourself if you really want to feel like, or fully accept where you are and where you want to go, even if you don't really know where that is. The blame and shame game aren't part of this episode. You need to take accountability for, your past self, and decide right here, right now, that this is a new you that you want to create. Because it's not okay to settle for a life that you are unhappy with. Trust me. I'm going to be honest here. I don't know who or where I'd be, what I'd be doing for a career, let alone I don't think I would have had this much personal growth, self-love, and contentment in my life if I never left what everyone else thought was good for me. And that was my previous marriage. You deserve a life filled with all the ups and downs of a human experience, but not one where you're keeping yourself small or doing whatever, everyone else wants you to do. So stop settling and face the fear of taking accountability of where you are now is due to all the choices that you've made. because we have a new life to start creating here. One step I recommend to my clients when we are at this stage is about getting out of your dating pattern is to take action with your newfound accountability and self acceptance right away. And that step is to write down every single thing you are not happy with in your dating life and get crystal clear on what that is. So, for example, maybe you're struggling with a current relationship. So, maybe you're having difficulty in how you guys either, handle conversations or difficult conversations, and you maybe have to put up with constant yelling, arguing, passive aggressiveness, or maybe it's even like maybe he's texting you too much or calling you too much. So there's, you know, so much conversation that it seems possessive. Get descriptive and go through all the different areas of your dating life or your relationship. And when you're done with that, I want you to read it out loud to yourself. And I want to ask you, how does it feel? What emotions are coming up after reading the list out loud? Do you want to experience these emotions again? Are you going to let your life continue on as is? Or are you ready to say, I will never get to this point in my relationships again? Are you ready to say, I never want to feel this way ever again? Are you ready to make this day a new beginning, a start to a new you, a new love, a new life? Well, I hope you said yes because I'm not done with this podcast episode. So let's move on to the ways that you might be self sabotaging yourself as an ambitious woman so that you can have the awareness to remove yourself from these dating patterns. These ways of self sabotaging yourself include other people helping us stay in these dating patterns. I'm going to do another episode where it's focused solely on your behavior without the influence of others. So, first and foremost, I've said this before on another episode, self sabotaging yourself in a relationship is meeting a need of yours, and it's keeping you in a so called comfortable pattern. And that's more than likely, is similar to a relationship maybe you experienced when you were younger. I see this a lot with my clients who want to be the fixer or the hero in the relationship. Maybe you're trying to fix your previous partner or even current partner because, a relationship that you experienced when you were younger was hypothetically broken. And you thought, if I could have done X, Y, and Z, then the person would have done ABC or stayed or loved me, something to that effect. And when we can get attached to these behaviors. So like the behavior of constantly feeling like you have to save someone or improve their life, this becomes a problem that you constantly seek to solve. And so like, even when you do, if like the fixer example, when you're used to saving others, it's because you're lacking this sort of emotion or feeling in your life. And maybe that's validation, maybe that's acceptance, and maybe that's love. So, recognizing your behaviors will help you start uncovering why it's there in the first place. And to be honest here, even though I'm calling out certain self sabotaging behaviors that are very specific to dating patterns, they are at a high level, and every single individual is going to have a different reasoning underneath it, the behaviors that you're trying to uncover in the first place, so that you can work through those past issues and move through the dating pattern to get to the other side. So maybe for example, maybe you jump from relationship to relationship instead of focusing on the issues within the first one, or maybe you blame others for why it ended. But by doing this, you're avoiding confrontation or resolving the conflict altogether. You never really complete the relationship in a healthy way because you're never fully learning from it or learning how it affected you personally and more about yourself. So you can call this behavior everything from like moving on to uprooting because it's so sudden, and you or maybe someone else pretends everything is normal once they have fully left the relationship behind. I know I was guilty of doing this for a very long time. Another behavior that I see a lot of people, not just women, is living a life you really don't want. Here, you really don't know what you want, but what you do know is that your current relationship or your current dating situation is not it. But the real issue here stems from, why are you staying in the first place? Is it because you don't want to disappoint other people? Is it because you like the chase of dating? Is it because you want to feel wanted by someone? Do you really like the person you're with? Or are you feeling like you have to be in a relationship because it's about time you settled down? Another one to really deeply think about. So, two other self sabotaging behaviors are polar opposites: the guilt of succeeding and the fear of failure. Sometimes these are difficult to see in relationships, so I wanted to bring them to your attention. And honestly, I haven't seen this much with my clients, but who knows? Maybe this will help you. And I'm going to start with the fear of failure. When I have seen this in a client, it's been mostly around not wanting to work on herself, because if she fails in becoming the person she thinks she should be, no one will love her anymore because she's changed. Other ways you might see this are in moments where you're constantly worrying, or maybe that's a friend or family member. They're just waiting for the other shoe to drop, or waiting for bad news, or waiting for the world to come to an end. As for the guilt of succeeding, how it shows up in your love life may be that, let's say, you don't think you deserve the person you're with because the rest of your friends and family members have, I don't know, horrible relationships. Or maybe all of your friends and family members are single and they tell you men are assholes, and you don't want to be associated with an asshole, so you don't date. If you were to succeed above your current social circle, it would not only bring you emotional pain, but you would have to, others telling you that they're not happy for you, which brings me to the last self sabotaging behavior that is truly one to be aware of. And that is spending time with the wrong people. The people you surround yourself with will greatly impact your future self. In fact, when I was stuck in my dating patterns, yes, you can have multiple, I was still in denial that I was contributing to the problems, and I wasn't making any progress with my self development or finding a lifelong partner. And this was probably, oh gosh, like in the early stages of me trying to date online for real and being 100% single and not uprooting myself like I described before, like jumping from relationship to relationship like I had in the past. So this was probably 2016. But I was surrounding myself with a few different friends who were keeping me from taking care of myself. And I mean, like, everything from, unhealthy behaviors of like not working out, drinking too much, staying up really late, going to late work, being too tired at work to finish a project. All of those things that I was doing, I was like, why am I doing this in my 30s? Like, this is how my life was in my early 20s. So one of them was a narcissistic friend who constantly put me down to keep me playing small, but then would try to be generous with their time and efforts in the friendship to make themselves look better. Then I had a friend who constantly complained about anyone else that she had a friendship or relationship with. And later on, I found out that she was talking behind my back on a regular basis. That was super fun. So, those are just a few of the so called friendships that I had to let go. I mean, to be honest, there were probably like two or three more in order for me to like truly move forward in my personal development and find the right person for me. And letting them go, once I realized this, took me only 3 months because I knew I wanted something else for myself. So, if you are curious about what sabotaging dating pattern you're in, take my quiz called Discover Your Dating Pattern. I'm going to leave a link in the show notes. The quiz is more aligned with how you're impacting your own growth versus the influences of others that I recently, went over through the podcast. So once you take the quiz, you're going to discover your prominent sabotaging dating behavior and how it's connected to your relationship passions and your relationship challenges. Then I share your relationship to self next steps to start the process of moving through your dating patterns. Okay, ladies, that's it for today. Stay tuned for next week's episode. Brad is joining me again, and we are pretty passionate, to say the least, about this next topic. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for listening to the Reinventing the Arena podcast. If you loved this episode or even the podcast, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or a rating on Spotify. It helps more ambitious women like yourself find this show and learn how to have a healthy relationship with themselves and a partner they love. Until next time, remember to believe in yourself, that you were meant for a better relationship, not only with fully knowing and loving yourself for who you are, but knowing that there's a man out there for you. You're not too picky. You're not too much. You are enough. And the right man knows this too. Have vacation on your mind? Yeah, me too. Catching some rays while having a little R&R is what I'm talking about. Some summer fun sounds great as long as it doesn't include the side effects from boozy beverages. The headaches, the dehydration, the horrible night's sleep, the hangover, and whatever else may come your way. Instead, try one of my favorite alcohol replacements called Moment. It's a botanical water, either still or sparkling, with no artificial flavors, no caffeine, and no added sugar. Instead, they have refreshing fruit flavors, healthy botanicals, and adaptogens. Some of my favorite flavors include blueberry ginger, spiced mango, and blood orange. Plus, I find them refreshing while hanging out poolside, by the beach, or lounging at the lake. If you want to give them a try, use my promo code Reinventing the Arena at checkout for 15% off. The link is in the show notes.